The bulletin claims that solar and storage be severely restricted. More spin. Let's get into the facts. There are 32,303 C10s. There are only 425 C46. And of that, 449 also have a C10. So it's 32,000 versus less than 1,000. This is not going to stop this industry. 4, the bulletin states that this licensing reclassification was a motion by the IBEW. This is wrong and an affront to the board. As you're well aware, each board member is appointed and serves with the goal of protecting public safety.
Sir, your time
The
is
motions and actions and deliberations of the board are exclusively for this
Thank you, sir.
purpose. Thank you.
I know what that means.
Hi, I'm Barry Cinnamon. I'm a C10 contractor and a C46 contractor and also a mechanical engineer. I thank the board. I thank David for such a fantastic report. It's very, very comprehensive. There's an enormous amount of information in there. Just let me give you a little bit of background about testing and certification that I've been through in my career as a solar and PV system installer. 2001, I started taking solar courses. A lot of those courses covered batteries. 2001, I took some electrical courses, 0 on batteries. 2002, I passed the C46 test. A lot of questions on batteries. 2002, I took the NABCEP training test. A lot of questions on batteries. Since then, I've taken many continuing education courses, including as an instructor. So that's going on for a while. Last year, I took the C10 test. I had 0 questions on batteries. In this CSLB report, the report itself states that the C46 test covers batteries in most detail. There's an abundance of materials in this report and videos about battery storage. I'm going to focus on the most popular consumer products. Those are the Tesla Energy Systems and the LG Chem battery in the back. And this is really important to everybody in this room, but I'm going to ask the board a rhetorical question. What would happen if you went to one of those batteries and dead shorted the terminals together? Does anybody know on the board what would happen if you did that? It's really important. What would happen? Does anybody know? Did you look at the videos? Does anybody in the back know that what would happen if you shorted the terminals on that Tesla or LG Chem battery?
Arc flash.
What? Nothing. Bingo. Absolutely nothing. I've got a video that I tested again this week. Short those terminals together. Guys were wearing proper protection. There wasn't even a spark. I don't understand where all the danger and hazards about these batteries are coming from. They're extremely safe. Every single battery that's being installed in the US has to be tested to UL 1973 or UL 9540, every single one. So please make your decisions based on battery system facts, on the equipment that's being installed in consumers' homes. There's a lot of things in that home that are a hell of a lot more dangerous than a battery, whether it's inside or outside. You could shoot a nail through those batteries and the tests show that they won't burn. So
Short them out together right now.
well, these are the facts. These are the UL listed tests. So I urge the board to consider the real facts and the testing before you make your decisions. And I really appreciate all the time and effort that the board has put in and everybody else in the audience has put in on this very important issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, before you start, let me please ask the audience, if you have a comment, please use the appropriate form and come up to the podium. Please don't interrupt a speaker. I'm going to be holding them to the time, so you're taking some of their time. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Thank you again, Alex Landsberg with the SF Electrical Construction Industry. I've got a couple of points I wanted to make on this topic. First of all, I wanted to offer you all some paper. On Tuesday, the San Francisco Board of Supervisors unanimously passed a resolution urging you to limit this work to C10 contractors because the city recognizes the importance of safety and skills in doing this work. And I have a copy of the resolution here. That's number one. Number two, this is really in a way addressing some of the points that Senator De Leon made in terms of workforce and what his goals in SB 350 were. You know, you take a look at studies of the demographics of the industry, both electrical construction as well as solar installation, and what you see, it's an incredibly diverse workforce. The differences being that on the electrical side, there's actually training, there's sustainable construction careers, there's actually a career ladder to get people not only employed but keep them working. It doesn't exist on the solar side of things, and you can actually see that the way it plays out in labor market data from the state of California. Take a look at how many solar employers there are, or how many solar installers there are. Back in 2017, 2018, 3,900. As far as electricians, 63,000. So 20 to 1. It's really significant number disparity. And it's also interesting how this plays out in your own report about safety. You see solar installers who are outmatched in terms of contractors, in terms of workers, 20 to 1. Happen to have half of the injuries? That's quite disproportionate for an industry that has such a small slice of the market. More broadly, when Senator De Leon was talking about workforce and workforce investment, let's take a look at what else we need to be looking at. Recommendation number 3 recognizes that we're going to be building up this industry, growing this industry, especially as Governor Newsom's goals for more housing gets done. But there's a lot of recent research showing that we're going to need 200,000 more workers just to build the units that we need for the government, for the governor's goals. And these are blue collar construction workers. And it's reasonable to look at how we're going to get them. Well, surprisingly, part of the reason why we need so many workers is because of the labor system that's very much similar to the solar installers. No training, no workforce development, no opportunities for career growth. So I want to end this with a little thought, and it's quite appropriate. We're talking about the green economy, really focusing on workforce and focusing on environmental goals. We get green.
Thank you, sir. Your
With
time is
two
up.
colors, and green without blue is just yellow. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for your time. I want you to know that right off the bat, I am not a firefighter. I am an instructor. I wrote this stuff down because I'm an old man. I'm 64 today, and I haven't had anything to eat. I drink a lot of Monster, so let's see how this works out. All right. My name is CJ Hamilton, and I train firefighters, police officers, and paramedics on electrical and solar safety. I've trained over 15,000 firefighters in cities across the United States. It includes Atlanta, Georgia, Augusta, Georgia, Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Bernardino County, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Michigan. And yes, in the last 2 years, I've trained over 1,000 firefighters in Hawaii. It's a tough job, but somebody has to do it. All right. So I'm here today to help California make it safer for firefighters when they encounter battery energy storage. I know and teach the risk of hazards of energy storage and PV, and they are completely two different systems. They are separate systems with completely different hazards. Firefighters can get hurt, injured, and killed with PV. Even small residential energy storage batteries can explode with something called arc flash, arc blast. And if you haven't heard of arc flash, arc blast moves at the speed of light, burns at 35,000 degrees, and blows up with enough power that equals 8 sticks of dynamite. If that's not dangerous, I don't know what is. That's the main thing that I teach in my classes. One of the keys to protecting firefighters is to make sure that energy storage systems are installed and maintained properly and safely. Just because a worker installs solar doesn't mean that worker has the skills and experience to safely install energy storage. In my opinion, only state-certified electricians working for a C10 contractor can do this work. This can help save and protect workers and our public. I support the staff recommendation to move to regulatory proceedings. I want to take one quick minute here. I don't know if any of you have ever been to a firefighter's funeral or not. Unfortunately, I have been to several. When that chief gives that widow that flag, it'll break your heart. I'll guarantee it. Okay? And the reason why it'll break your heart is because that firefighter is willing to give his life to save you and your family. All right? He's going to do that no matter what he has to go through. He's going to put his life first to make sure that your family is safe. He's going to make sure that your kids are safe. Today, you have the power to make sure that those firefighters are kept safe from getting hurt, injured, or killed. Please don't turn your back on them today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gary Gerber. I'm a mechanical engineer. I am a B licensed contractor 326203. That's a pretty early number. Been in business in solar specifically for over 42 years. I'm also a C46 license holder, but I actually did a lot of my installations under the B over the years. I employ 70 well-trained, highly paid individuals as a C46, believe it or not. You know, we actually do run our businesses like businesses. We run them safe. We have highly professional, well-paid people working for us. That's the reality of the C46. I'm alarmed but not surprised by the video that I watched. I reviewed it and found no fewer than 30 inaccuracies and misrepresentations, far too many to even talk about at this meeting. But I strongly urge this board to discount that video. It just can't be trusted at all. And there are so many things wrong and stated incorrectly in that video that it can't be trusted. And if you make your decisions today based on what you see in that video, I'm afraid you're going to be making a poorly informed decision. One good example of something that's not even talked about here is that if this suggestion of relegating all storage work to the C10s goes through, you're going to basically disenfranchise all of my customers, of which I have thousands, who have yet to put in their storage systems and who we intend to put storage systems in and who have our very good 10-year warranty. I'm not going to be allowed to go back to my own customer under this rule and install their storage system. Someone else is going to come in and modify my solar system. And what is that going to do to my warranty? They're not going to want to warranty my system, and I'm not going to want to warranty it anymore either. So this has ramifications that are well beyond just the safety of the installation. It's about consumer protection, which is part of your mandate. Hey. I have nothing against C10s. I have nothing against, we work side by side with certified electricians. Usually when we're working side by side with them, we're doing the DC work, we're doing the solar and the storage work, and they're saying, we don't know anything about this stuff, you guys do that work. We make those arrangements constantly. We're working on PW jobs where we're on the roof doing the solar work, we're working on the storage system, and the electricians wisely say, we don't understand that stuff, we don't want to take on that work, we're not trained in it. They're not. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, board. I'm Michael Emmerich. I started a firm in 1975 called Solarponics, and my license number is 391670. I have a B, a C36, and a C46. And over the years, we've installed hundreds of on and off-grid solar systems. Right now, one of the jurisdictions we work in called the CSLB about their opinion whether a C46 should be able to install a battery backup system on their own work. And he was told no. So we have jobs we installed, and we have 30 battery systems that are sold that we can't put in because of, I think, misinformation. We have people who are NAPSAP certified. We have 8 people that have been to the Tesla trainings school and are certified to install Tesla batteries. Kind of disappointed that we've spent over 40 years creating a business that is based on service, quality, and safety. And we have an impeccable reputation if you check our area. My building inspectors will tell you we do good work. Anyway, I wish you to think about what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
First, I'd like to thank the board for the opportunity to speak and for staff for producing the excellent report. My name's John Berdner. I work with Enphase Energy. I'm a 35-year veteran of the solar energy industry. I guess I'm one of those so-called experts. I sit on NFPA Code Making Panel 4, which is Article 690 and 705, which governs solar. And I've been involved in code making at NFPA since the 1995 code cycle. I'm also the vice chair of IEEE 1547, which governs interconnection of PV systems and distributed energy resources, including storage, to the electric grid. I'm a founding and current member of the Standards Technical Panel for UL 1741, amongst others, which governs inverters in PV and storage systems. My main goal in speaking today is to make sure that the board is looking at the facts around energy storage. And having viewed the video that was provided by the C10s, I find that it's grossly full of false and misleading statements. And these are based on my knowledge of the code, my knowledge of energy storage systems, my knowledge of inverters. One of the key things that are pointed out is the concern over arc flash. Well, we're also, Enphase is one of the largest manufacturers of residential energy storage systems in the world. We have more than 15,000 systems installed, primarily in Australia, and we have 0 incidents of any fires associated with these products. We were the first company to achieve the UL 9540 listing. And if you are 9540 listed, this flame spread issue that you see in this video will not occur. That's part of the testing that's required. What was shown in the video is a damaged enclosure with flame shooting out of it. That would never be installed. The arc flash that's shown there is for AC systems, clearly shown in the video. Though that AC arc flash hazard has nothing to do with energy storage. The fault currents for an AC coupled energy storage system are dictated by the inverter. They are tested and they are limited and they are controlled. So I would urge you to look carefully at the real facts and the real codes and standards that are associated with this issue and make a decision based on those facts, not on the facts that are shown in this
Thank you, sir.
video,
Your
which
time
is
is up.
designed to incite fear. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name's Jeff Spies. I appreciate the opportunity to comment this morning on this issue of vital importance to California and its residents. I'm the president of Planet PlanSets, but I serve in a number of capacities in the industry. I serve as secretary for the industry certification organization known as NABCEP. And I am on the standard technical panel for UL 2703, which is the safety standard, which establishes the safe working practices for rack-mounted PV systems. I also chaired, or the leader of the bonding and grounding task group for that standard. So I have a little bit of experience, one might say, when it comes to crafting safety standards in the solar industry. I also serve on the California Solar Storage Association on the board, as well as chair of the Codes and Standards Committee. And I, of all the other things I do, I'm the executive producer of a documentary film about how the solar industry started called Solar Roots. So I've researched the roots of this industry extensively for years. Contrary to the claims of the IBEW and NECA and those that were behind the creation of this very flawed video, battery systems are not new. That's stated time and time again. In fact, in the documentary research I've done, there's common evidence that battery systems were in common use in rural homesteads throughout the United States starting in the 1930s. And when solar entered the home power sector in the 1980s, batteries were a core component. So to claim that they are two separate systems flies in the face of the historical facts that exist. Batteries have been paired with solar since solar photovoltaics debuted in the 1800s and especially in the 1950s when silicon solar cells were developed and made the technology feasible. KELSA's position is supported by numerous respected subject matter experts that are writing the codes, developing the safety standards, and training installers and firefighters. We've heard from several like Don Hughes, like Captain Richard Burt, John Berdner, Bill Brooks, who sits on Code Making Panel 4, and numerous other individuals who back KELSA's position that C46s are qualified to install solar and storage systems both. Nika and the group behind this video, IBEW, have misrepresented the dangers of solar and storage by showing dramatic video flashes from arc blast and arc flash, but those aren't AC power systems. They're not showing that on battery system equipment. I feel it's misrepresenting the arguments that they're making. The video is slick and expensive, but the speakers are clearly scripted, and you can see that they're reading from a teleprompter. Despite the misleading claims that battery systems are becoming more complicated, the truth is they're becoming less complicated. California recently implemented a requirement that all residential battery systems be listed to UL 9540, the safety standard that pertains to battery systems. There's extensive testing done to avoid the kind of problems that we've heard misrepresented by those that want to restrict this to C10s. So I would encourage that you get the facts and do not get them from this flawed video. They're also misrepresenting the word transform in the scope of work for C10 contractors, claiming that it referred to the ability to transform electricity. It's up. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Todd Farhad. I'm with Sun Street Lennar. Lennar is one of the bigger builders in the state of California. We're pioneers in terms of installing solar on our homes. We do most of every new construction, every new home in California, we install solar on it. Just to give you an idea, we are anticipating roughly about 3,700 solar installation just in the SCE area. We do business in all of California and nationwide. I would like to thank the board, first of all, for taking the time to hear us. I would like to thank the board members, specifically Mike, for putting together this really nice package, very educational. And I would like to speak to what I know or what I am comfortable with. This proposal, if implemented, will negatively impact our storage business. Indeed, it might actually kill our storage business. At a time where we know that in order for us to continue doing business, in order for us to continue installing solar, specifically with a new mandate, we have to make it not only profitable for us, of course, but also for our customers. Installing only solar in the next few years with a new time of use and all the new tariffs is going to make it difficult for our customers to really see profit or see any advantage behind having solar without batteries. So batteries are very crucial for us in order for us to continue installing solar like we do. And with this, we most likely will not be able to explain profit for our customers, whether it's a PPA, lease, or straight out purchase. The question is why? Why do this now? I've read the package. I've also listened to a lot of the speakers. There's been no significant indication of any safety or quality compromise in storage. There has been no significant consumer complaints about storage. So why do it now? This will absolutely hurt the new home construction industry. It will hurt it for two reasons. One, it's going to limit the pool of qualified installers. And supply and demand is very simple. You have less installers, you're going to have higher costs. It will also impact it in terms of the cost. We are grappling right now in trying to
Your time is
explain.
up, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Start.
Thank you for allowing me to speak today. My
Sir,
name is
sir,
Eric Murphy.
Sir, before you get started, I really apologize. We're going to take about a 5-minute break. Some of us have to use the restroom. I apologize. I really do.
It's okay.
So please hold for 5 minutes.
Not great.
Everybody that's here, make sure you don't block the pathways to the doors, please. Everybody that's here that's going to talk. It is a public forum, but we don't want the doors or exit doors blocked, please.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Not yet. I see the other side. I see
We should start banging the gavel.
Will the last speaker that was at the podium please return? Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Eric Murphy, CEO and owner of Let's Get Solar. I have a C46 solar contractor, and I've been installing solar PV here in San Diego since 2004. In addition to your responsibility to regulate commerce and protect the public safety, the board plays an important role in providing economic fairness to low-income and underrepresented families in California. As a C46 contractor, in conjunction with Grid Alternatives, I have personally installed PV systems that have been hugely beneficial to low-income families here in San Diego. If the board restricts the installation of energy storage to the C10 classification, we all know that will reduce competition and increase the cost to all buyers. But it will be especially impactful to low-income families throughout California. Solar PV in combination with energy storage will continue to drive the value proposition for consumers. But if the board excludes C46 contractors from this market, that economic benefit will increasingly move away from low and middle income families. Please consider this fact, continue to enforce safety and training regulations, and allow the market to expand the growth of PV and energy storage so that everyone in our society can benefit and provide for their families. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, and I want to thank the board for allowing us to speak. Wonderful report. Look forward to seeing some of the videos. My name is Jason Bobrick. I work for Solar Edge Technologies. We manufacture and deliver energy storage systems and photovoltaic systems. We're ranked #1 globally, and we have the largest installed base of energy storage in the United States today. The technology that we're talking about specifically is the lithium technology. And you can see some examples of that in the back of the room. There's a couple products here. I want to give a little bit about my experience and then talk a little bit about some safety standards in more detail that some of my colleagues have touched on already today. I have about 19 years experience in the industry, writing codes and standards, working with labs, building labs in some cases, and quite a bit of hands-on experience with these products, strictly from a safety and compliance standpoint. My role is Director of Codes and Compliance for North America, and my #1 focus is safety, human safety, installer safety, consumer safety, first responder safety. All of those things wrap up into what I'm concerned about within my role in the company. It's imperative that manufacturers look at this from all angles. So we are very keen on making sure that first and foremost, we deliver products that are safe to the market. There's an important concept I think one of the earlier speakers touched on, which is qualified persons. If you read the National Electric Code, which the state of California has adopted, it says that a qualified person may install the equipment. The equipment also has to be listed and labeled for use. So what that means essentially is you take it to a third-party lab, you get it listed, it gets a mark on it. We're all familiar with the little UL mark or an ETL mark or CSA, whatever the mark may be. But what that says is that a third-party entity has tested that product to a standard. And these standards are not trivial. So I encourage everybody to pay attention to two numbers. UL 1973, that's the standard that governs how the batteries are tested. These battery, I'm going to call them battery appliances that you see in the back room, because it's not really a battery like a like a Duracell battery that you might have in your flashlight, or a car battery that you might have, or one of those big 2-volt lead acid batteries that you might see in an old off-grid system. But these aren't the same batteries. These are battery appliances. They're fully packaged. They're enclosed in metal enclosures. They have thermal protection systems to prevent thermal runaway. They have overcurrent protection systems to prevent arc flash. They have sophisticated monitoring systems that report errors back on a constant basis. So when the battery's in trouble, you know about it. What I'm trying to say is that these products
Thank
are
you, sir.
wrapped.
Your time is up.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Daniel Sullivan. Thank you for your time. I'm a state licensed electrician. I am also the founder and president of Sullivan Solar Power, which is the 5th largest solar contractor in the state of California. We are also the 2nd largest developer of battery storage systems and residential applications in the state. Our company has been in business for 15 years. And although I'm not wearing a yellow jersey today, I am a member of CALSA as well. However, today I am moving away from their position on the issue of batteries because of my expertise as an electrician. Battery storage systems are complex. They are not something that should be installed by anyone who is not qualified. And I would want to echo the sentiments and intent of Senator De Leon. It's clear that the state of California wants highly qualified, trained individuals doing this work. And with the expertise that I have as an electrician and the experience I have hiring people from other solar contractors, I know, and I'll be blunt, solar technicians are not qualified to install battery storage systems. These systems can be a severe fire hazard and can cause severe personal injury if not installed correctly. So I implore the CSLB to take all of this into account when considering the legislative intent of Senator De Leon and Senate Bill 100. To put in perspective, we are the company that was instrumental in bringing forth the Consumer Protection Bill 1070 for the solar industry. We did that because we saw what was happening in the solar market with simple solar systems being installed incorrectly by unqualified individuals. And we wanted to make sure that these systems performed in that segment of the market. Battery storage is complex, and if we want to move away from fossil fuel and we want to move our grid towards a more resilient grid with distributed generation and distributed storage, this can only be done by qualified individuals who are state licensed electricians. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Matt Stoutenberg, owner of a company called Peak Power. I have been in the electrical industry for 30 years. I am a B general contractor with a C10 license, a C46, a C17, and a state certification electrician's license. And I think this debate, although we've got a room full of passionate people on both sides of the equation, is a situation of vocabulary. One of them would be people wearing yellow shirts. They say, save my solar job. I don't think solar is being in question right now. I think battery storage is what's in question. That's an entirely different scope of work. And as a C10 contractor, I would have to say, who in the room wearing a yellow shirt has a valid state certification license currently? Raise your hand. 1, 2. Okay, so 2 of them. None of them can be employed by me as a C10, yet all of them could be employed by me as a C46. That's hypocrisy at its finest right there. We're talking about 2 sides of this equation. One side is defending a lower standard for a lower wage, yet claims to want to increase the middle class. The other side is defending a higher standard at a higher wage, which will elevate the middle class. This whole debate is not over safety. This debate is over vocabulary and scope of work. It is not a solar scope of work. It is a battery scope of work. We are not trying to take away solar jobs. You can save your solar job, but you are not entitled to do all electrical work under a C46 license. There is nothing that stops me as a C10 and a C46 from hiring a non-state certified electrician from going out and doing electrical work under the C46 license. Who's going to police it? Other point that needs to be brought up. Earlier this morning, you were talking about protecting the elderly. The whole supply chain in the solar industry has a zero barrier of entry. The reason why there's sales and elderly abuse is because there is no barrier of entry. Everybody wearing a yellow shirt has zero barrier of entry. All we are talking about, and you may have skills, you may be great craftsmen, you may be great tradesmen, nothing against that. But in a battery industry that is at its infancy right now, literally the percentage of batteries installed today compared to what will be installed in the next 5 to 10 years is 0.1%. And if they can claim that they've had no problems so far, I can guarantee you that will not be the case if the standards stay the way they are in the next 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Martin Learn with HES Solar here in San Diego, and I would like to cede my time to Don Simon.
Thank you for indulging us. We were already told that's permitted.
Point of order,
Sir,
Chair.
if you've already spoken, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
I said, I believe you've already spoken.
Right, but we just asked you during the break that he could cede the time.
Okay, I
This
was confused by the young lady that asked me. It wasn't ceding the time to someone that had already spoken.
We want to hear. No, we'd like to hear.
May I have 1 minute?
How about we allow everyone else an opportunity to get their point across? And if you would like to come at the end, I will give you 1 minute. Thank you. Next, please.
Go ahead, Martin.
I have been in the solar business for 18 years, and I recall this kind of turf battle in the past. And I think we hope we can rise above this and do what's best for the state of California and for the consumer. This is part of the plan to go to 100% renewables in the RPS. And I believe that the loss of jobs in the solar industry will roll things backward, and there will be a limited supply of people to train people to put solar on the houses that Governor Newsom wants to build, and close to another million houses in California. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, and esteemed staff. My name is Ed Murray. I'm with Aztec Solar, CEO in Rancho Cordova, California. That's my day job. I'm also the chairperson of the California Solar and Storage Association, 500 members, companies that are C10s, C46s, Bs, As, and the like. We used to be called California Solar Energy Industries Association, but we changed it because we knew that storage was coming and we needed to be part of that. So that's why we changed our name a couple of years ago to California Solar and Storage Association. As a bit of history, in 1995, the IBEW and C10s tried to run the C46 out of business. There was a pilot program in Southern California, Edison had put together for battery storage and PVs. And at that time, the CSLB was asked, can the C46 license holder install battery storage within the code and the license? And they came out and agreed that they could. In fact, the C46 was a responsible contractor that could install solar storage in the code. In 2005, Senate Bill 1, or SB 1, was enacted, and they created the Million Solar Roofs Initiative. And again, the IBEW wanted only prevailing wage jobs and C10 license holders to install solar PV. At that time, it was defeated. And again, now in 2010, when net metering was extended, the IBEW again came and argued that the C10 contractor only be allowed to interconnect solar interconnect with the grid, and that was defeated. So you can see all along, we've been fighting IBEW and coming out against it, and we're always winning. We're hoping to win this time. What I have are customers that want solar storage with their batteries, and what I'm hearing is that I can't go back to my customers and do that. If I had a customer that called me just out of the blue and say, I want a PV system with battery storage, I'd say, oh, I can't do battery storage. I'll have to get my C10 contractor to do it. I don't get the job. And so you're not going to get two different contractors out there on the job. So not only do I lose the PV or the solar storage, but I will also lose the photovoltaic side of it. So there goes my business. I just want you guys to know that there's plenty of work for everybody in this business. There's a lot of business coming. We're going to need everybody, all hands on deck. Everybody here will need to be working. But this is nothing but a power grab from IBEW and C10 contractors, and nothing else but a power grab. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning to the board. My name is Lynn Tran, and I'm with LG Chem. I'm responsible for the lithium-ion battery in the back of the room. LG Chem is a leading lithium-ion battery manufacturer. We have 700,000 electric vehicles on the road with 0 safety infractions. Same cell technology being used now in our residential stationary storage batteries. To date, since our launch, we've sold about 10,000 units, about half of them here in the great state of California. And the Resu is designed, intended, marketed, and sold as a compact energy storage unit for domestic photovoltaic system compatibility. And LG Chem, in the installation manual for the Resu battery under the safety section 1.4, qualified personnel is defined as a skilled worker, trained and qualified electrician or installer who has all of the following skills and experience. 1, knowledge of functional principles and operations of on-grid and off-grid backup systems, and knowledge of the dangers associated with installing and using electrical devices and acceptable mitigation methods. Common industry standard is for product-specific installation certification. For the Resu battery from LG Chem, you need to have the certification to even purchase the battery. It's designed to be safe. It complies with all UL standards for lithium-ion batteries, including up to UL 9548, and complies with global safety standards. It's made to be safe, and the expectation is that you should have product-specific installation in the industry. From a manufacturer's perspective, safety concerns are actually related to neither certification, but actually more towards how the batteries are manufactured and how they are moved and transported. Just wanted to provide a perspective from the manufacturer standpoint on how these energy storage systems are installed. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to speak this morning. My name is Rick Umoff, and I am the California Director at the Solar Energy Industries Association. We are the National Association for the Solar Industry, active across the country. We represent over 1,000 solar companies, including C10 and C46 contractors. California is the most important market in the country by a long shot. There's roughly 80,000 jobs in solar in the state, close to 3,000 companies active in this state. And requiring a C10 license for solar and storage installations would threaten California's standing, especially at this important time with the new solar homes mandate coming on board, and a number of the other changes that are happening that I'm not sure if this board is aware of around rate design changes and other regulatory changes that are happening in this state rather quickly that have a major impact on solar companies. And so for this reason, we encourage the CSLB to continue allowing C46 contractors to install solar plus storage systems. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Before the next speaker begins, Christy, there's been a request for you to restate the motion and to kind of explain what it means, please.
I honestly didn't take the motion down, so I'll have to ask the staff who took the motion down to reread it because I don't have it written down.
I can read it. I move to approve staff's recommendation to direct staff to consider battery energy storage system size, complexity, and voltage and potential risk. Draft a proposed regulatory package for board consideration that would prohibit or restrict certain contractor classifications from performing the installation of battery energy storage systems. Assign this to the appropriate board committee or committees and provide updates at each board meeting.
Okay, so what the motion before the board is to further deliberate and discuss on this issue before the various standing committees as assigned by the chair, because the chair of the board assigns work to the committees to continue these discussions. So the proposal really is for further deliberation on the possibility of a regulatory change. Because when it says draft proposed regulatory text, that means it's a draft and it's a proposal. So if this motion got passed, the legal effect is there would be no change to any classification today. That will not be the legal effect of that motion. The effect will simply be to have the committees of the board further deliberate, discuss, and come up with proposals, which will all be subject to public comment, participation, and that so forth. So this is a lengthy process. I don't know how many people have been through the regulatory process, but as previously mentioned, regs take up to 2 years if they're not controversial. So in any event, they take a long time, and they should, because that's the way government is supposed to work. So in any event, I hope that clarifies for you what the legal effect would be if the motion passed. There would be no change to anyone's scope of work today if it passed.
Thank you, Christy. Okay, sir.
Chairwoman, Board, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak this morning. My name is Steve Campbell, Policy Project Manager at Grid Alternatives. Grid Alternatives is California's largest nonprofit solar developer, and since 2004, we have developed over 11,000 solar installations for low-income communities and disadvantaged communities throughout California. We primarily do this as a program administrator for the single-family affordable solar homes program, the solar on multifamily affordable solar homes program, and the low income weatherization program. California's fourth climate change assessment found that climate change will disproportionately affect the state's low income and vulnerable communities. Additional licensing requirements as the state's clean energy, additional licensing requirements as proposed exacerbate the challenges disadvantaged communities face to have equitable access to our state's clean energy investments, including adding project costs to this cost-sensitive population, limiting options for remote locations that may lack a sufficient pool of C10 contractors, and extending construction timelines that burden families who can't afford to take the additional days off of work. Any new limitations to pair existing successful low-income solar programs with upcoming battery storage programs. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Through the chair, can I, and Christy, maybe you can, the speakers, when you speak, can you perhaps address the motion that's on the table? And I support is that a fair request or?
Well, I mean, anything that's within the scope of the agenda item, the public can comment on. I mean, certainly the reason we take public comment before a motion is so the public can weigh in on the motion. We'd like that feedback, but they can discuss anything that's listed within the scope of the agenda, as long as it's within the scope. And frankly, even if it's not, because the public can provide any comment they like.
100%. And just maybe voluntarily, if you feel so compelled, I support the motion or I oppose the motion, whatever would be very helpful, I think, to the board.
Sir.
Thank you. Good morning, members of the board. My name is Scott Williams. I'm the Vice President of Renewables and Safety for Baker Electric, a C10 and C46 contractor. Baker Electric has installed nearly 2 gigawatts of solar, and that makes us the #1 electrical subcontractor solar installations in North America. From 2016 to present day, we've installed over 200 megawatts of energy storage systems in the commercial and utility scale space, including a Tesla 20 megawatt energy storage power plant. It's not plug and play. It wouldn't even fit in this room. We connected it to 34,000 volts grid tied. Energy storage is considerably different from and much more dangerous than solar installations. It is our experience that general contractors only hire C10 contractors with state certified electricians to work in these solar and energy storage power plants. To date, none of them have accepted our C46 license as a qualification for this work. I'm here to speak on this motion and really to reference the video number 5 that was presented and reviewed upon before coming here. And it shows a utility scale end of the road energy storage installation. A C46 contractor does not have the qualifications to work in a power plant on an energy storage system as shown in the video. There's no evidence of any lockout tagout measure being used in this video as required by the National Fire Protection Association 70E for electrical safety standards. The video details that the required electrical connections are both 480 volt AC wiring and 1000 volt DC wiring. It's not plug and play. If you look at the video, you'll see that there was an AC conduit already previously installed at some point in time, back all the way to the point of electrical connection. The 480 volt AC wiring is stubbed above ground with exposed copper wiring. The AC wire should have been safely capped off to protect the technician from shock in case there's an accidental 480 volt AC backfeed from the AC electrical service. The technician in the video is using an ordinary screwdriver instead of the required calibrated torque screwdriver, demonstrating lack of proper training and mitigating any possible fire from a loose wire termination. The technician is not wearing the appropriate level of arc flash protection that is required per the NFPA 70E standards when testing the 480 volt AC terminals and 1000 volt DC terminals in an energized operational state. Where is the arc flash boundary requirement? There's none shown. Where is the standby qualified person with CPR certification in case there's an issue? None present. Baker Electric supports the C10 contractor, and state certified electricians are the only classification that possesses the correct level of training, knowledge, and experience to install these sophisticated modern energy storage systems. Baker Electric supports the third option, that the staff recommendation to determine the right qualifications for installing and maintaining all battery energy storage systems. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Dan Cohey with PDE Total Energy Solutions, and we're a C10 contractor based in Los Angeles and San Francisco who's been doing battery energy storage systems installations for the last 19 years. I heard comments saying that C10 contractors usually don't know what the batteries, what to do with the batteries, and I couldn't disagree with that more. Our company's completed the battery energy storage system at 29 Palms, 10 megawatt microgrid, which is one of the most, is the largest type 2B microgrid in the country. PDE installed that at 15,000 volts interconnected to their substation to provide backup power in the event of an outage. Working in a military base is extremely complicated and extremely takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of proof that you understand what you're doing. All of our electricians are licensed. All of them understand AC and DC theory. All of them know how to lock out, tag out, how to use their instrumentation, and it has to be proven to the military before you can land any single wire. You have got to prove your competencies. So battery energy storage systems are, in my opinion, standalone systems. They are their own entity. We just finished the military's microgrid testbed at Port Hueneme in Ventura, California, and it was not a plug-and-play system. We bought the 40-foot container. We did the mechanical engineering. We did the electrical engineering. We racked and stacked all the batteries. We landed on the overcurrent protection. We landed our wiring in the substation. All of that required, and while that was being done, it required a constant safety supervisor to watch our electricians who are all state certified. So the military, who is protecting our country, is also protecting their assets and ensuring that qualified electricians are working on their subsystems. So, calling a battery energy storage system an appliance couldn't be further from what my personal experience has been working in this industry. The 100 megawatt system going in Long Beach right now for AES and who Fluence is doing goes from 1,000 volts DC to 660 volts AC to 34.5 kV AC to 215 kV AC. It starts in one battery building and goes directly to the transmission lines at one installation in Long Beach. So that is clearly a standalone system. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for giving me time to speak. My name is Jason Eshelman. I am a certified electrician. I wish it would only cost me $400 to get this card. My marriage would probably be a little better. It took 8,000 hours on the job training, 2,000 hours in the classroom. That 2,000 hours consisted of over 30 hours of OSHA safety training, 8 hours of electrical hazard training. It's not the voltage that scares me as an electrician. It's the potential, the hidden danger, the amperage. It takes less than 3 milliamps to stop a human heart. We're talking about 8,000 hours of on-the-job training. When you guys go to the doctors and they tell you guys that you need a surgery, do you go on Craigslist to find a surgeon? No, you get a qualified individual to do that task. To have a C46 contractor that has no regulation, everybody in this room could work for a C46 contractor, but to actually have 8,000 hours just to get the card, I'm required to have 32 continual hours every three years to maintain the card. Please just consider that when you guys are making your vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, board members. Thank you for your time today. My name is Antonio Sanchez, and I want to bring your attention to a letter which you should have received in your packet, but I want to read it for the public and for the record briefly, a couple of points. It's signed by many of our elected leaders in the state of California, many of our local school board members and local council members, people that take very seriously, I would argue, the responsibility of keeping us safe. And I'm going to read some of the names, but essentially they they urge the board to not compromise safety standards by continuing to allow C46 solar contractor to install a battery energy storage system. And I'm going to thank you for your patience, and I'm going to be quick here. State Senator Melissa Hurtado, State Senator Kathleen Galgiani, State Senator Richard Pam, State Senator Jim Beal, State Senator Robert Hertzberg, State Senator Connie Leyva, State Senator Maria Elena Durazo, State Senator Steve Bradford, Assembly Member Cecilia Aguirre Curry, Assembly Member Lorena Gonzalez, Assembly Member Mark Levine, Assembly Member Bill Quirk, Assembly Member Kenseth Chu, Assembly Member Ash Carla, Assembly Member Robert Rivas, Assembly Member Rudy Salas, Assembly Member James Ramos, Assembly Member Chris Holden, Assembly Member Eloise Gomez Reyes, Assembly Member Blanca Rubio, Assembly Member Miguel Santiago, Assembly Member James Sawyer, Assembly Member Sabrina Cervantes, Assembly Member James Medina, Assembly Member Adam Burke, Assembly Member Mike Gibson, Assembly Member Sharon Cork Silva, Assembly Member Elmer Succi, Assembly Member Tom DeLay, Assembly Member Bonner Horvath, Assembly Member Brian Macian, Assembly Member Tom Gloria, Assembly Member Cheryl Weber, and a couple other elected officials that my colleague is going to read. I stand here in support of the motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, good afternoon, board members. My name is Tommy Falvai. I'm a state certified general journeyman electrician. I have my card here, 105780. I'm here today to continue the list of electeds that have supported this, our cause. Mayor Salas from Chula Vista, Mayor Quintero from City of El Monte, Mayor from City of Alhambra, Stadler, Mayor Solis from National City, Mayor from Lemon Grove, Vasquez, Honorable Jerry Velasco, Mayor Pro Tem, City of Almonte, City of Monterey Park, Mayor Pro Tem Liang, City of Long Beach, D. Andrews, Vice Mayor, Honorable Gil Cedillo, Council Member of City of LA, City of LA, Herb J. Wesson, City of Chula Vista, Council Member Joe Gavez, Olga Diaz, Council Member of City of Escondido, Steve Padilla, Council Member of Chula Vista, Long Beach, Council Member Austin, City of Long Beach, Janine Pierce, Council Member, Honorable Gomez, City Council, City of San Diego, Corey Shoemaker, Council Member of Carlsbad, City of Carson, Jim Deere, City of Bakersfield, Willie Rivera, Angie Jimenez, City of Montebello, Chris Ward, City of San Diego, City of Huntington Park, Graciela Ortiz, City of El Monte, Maria Morales, Mark West, City of Imperial Beach, City of National City, Mona Rios, City of Long Beach, Susie Price, Azusa Unified School District, Rodriguez Pena, Bassett Unified School District, Ibarra, City of Long Beach, Lena Gonzalez, City of Long Beach, Robert Uringa, Jesse Uquita, Board Member for Norwalk La Mirada Unified School District, ABC Unified School District, Christopher Apodaca, Deborah Zavala, Woodland Joint Unified School District, Mount Sac, San Antonio College, Trustee Santos Frank Tarantino, Trustee for Sweetwater Union High School. We're here to support the recommendation for item 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Again, thank you to everyone here, as well as the board, for all your time, diligence in making this open, honest conversation. My name is Dan Sauer. I'm here on behalf of Simplify Power. For the past 10 years, we've been a manufacturer here in the state of lithium-ion batteries. Our company has had these past years of history with the C46 as well as the C60 installers and contractors. As a California manufacturer of a safe, non-hazardous lithium-ion battery, we have always placed public safety as a top priority. And as such, Simplify has been working with both categories of contractors over these years. Now, both types have reliably installed our systems safely, efficiently, effectively, and in compliance with all codes and standards. Now, let's be clear, this change in policy potentially could destroy thousands of jobs and small businesses. In doing so, threaten the well-being and the growth of our economy that we've heard so much about already today. Energy storage technologies today, they are safer, they are simpler to install, and a bit more plug and play. Batteries today are UL listed, as again, we've heard our friends over at LG Chem state, as part of engineered systems with circuit breakers, various other safety features that are designed for easy installation and widespread use. Additionally, storage devices today are fully integrated with the PV modules, and to view them as separate systems is categorically incorrect. All in all, and public safety really is the issue at heart here. Limiting C46 licensed installers is not going to increase safety. What will is an honest look at the chemistries used in these different batteries and their safety profile and, well, their inherent hazards. Not limiting licensed contractors to install them, which is why Simplify Power has always used a safe lithium iron phosphate chemistry in all of our products. So both C46, C10 contractors are outstanding in their installations and should be allowed to continue the installation of solar and storage throughout the state. Homeowners, business owners, the industry, and indeed California will be better for it. I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your time today. My name is Tara Hammond, and while I chair the San Diego chapter of CALSA, the California Solar and Storage Association, I'm here today as Director of Community Development with Sullivan Solar Power. We have been in business for nearly 15 years and have installed over 8,000 residential solar power systems. We're a leader in residential and commercial solar in Southern California. We are also the third biggest battery developer for residential systems in the state. We only use state certified electricians for energy storage and solar installations. Energy storage, it's not solar. These systems are far more complex. While LG Chem did mention they do have an online certification, I've personally seen these batteries on eBay and on Craigslist where anyone could purchase them, not safely handle them, and not know how to properly install. My biggest fear is that an unqualified C46 contractor will have an accident installing an energy storage system, a fire, an electrocution, or an explosion, which could be a tragedy for the worker, the homeowner, and detrimental to the industry. As you guys may know, California's investor-owned utilities have moved the time of day where solar customers get the most credit to the evening time when the sun isn't shining. So pairing a battery with solar is what helps make solar make sense financially. And a battery installation accident could cause consumers to be fearful and to avoid going solar altogether. So for the safety of workers, emergency responders, the public, as well as for the sake of California's clean energy future, I support this motion and urge you to require certified electricians to install energy storage and to agree with the staff's recommendation to put this issue through the regulatory process. Thank you very much for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Good morning to the board, and thank you so much for your time today. My name is Celine Lawrence, and I'm the Director of Government Affairs for Sullivan Solar Power. As my colleague just mentioned, we are members of CALSA, and we are a leader in installing energy storage in California. We actually installed the first residential LG Chem Resu energy storage system in the continental US. And since then, we have the second most LG Chem Resu batteries in the nation installed, even though we just have a Southern California footprint. So our experience in the deployment of residential energy storage at this scale is that it's significantly more complex than solar and much more dangerous. In fact, the two are different altogether. Home energy storage is not plug and play, easy or simple. That's a sales pitch. I'd like to make that clear. We would never consider not using a certified electrician to install a residential energy storage system. What is involved in the installation is complex circuitry, wiring, and electrical assessment and calculations. In addition, residential homes vary drastically in terms of their wiring, breakers, and utility service capacity and connections. Without a certified electrician who has the knowledge, skills, and experience to fully assess and adapt the installation to the home's electrical system, the installation process poses safety threats to residents, workers, and first responders. By requiring a C10 license for all energy storage installations that are paired with PV solar, you are protecting public safety. Sullivan Solar Power fully supports the staff recommendation for a regulatory process. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Taylor Markwith, and I'm a Community Development Manager with Sullivan Solar Power. As you know from my colleagues Tara and Celine, we are CALSA members. Just because you can do solar well, the same does not apply to energy storage. They are separate. The level of danger is dramatically increased when installing energy storage. Solar produces a flow of electricity, while battery storage holds a large reservoir of electrical power that can cause great harm. Arc blasts and electrocution are real and extremely serious threats that should be taken seriously. In addition, for a C46 license, contractors, who are the employers, not necessarily the installers, have a few battery-related questions on their exams. But C46 workers who do the installations may have no state-required electrical training or certification. Because we are a large solar contractor, we understand the business. It is not uncommon for C46 contractors to hire low or unskilled workers. While that alone is not a good practice, storage is much more dangerous than solar, so it's critical to have trained and certified electricians install these batteries. I urge you to vote today for a deep but expedited regulatory review that makes certain that every battery storage system is installed and maintained safely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Brian Glenn. I am a technical advisor for Southern California Edison and assisting in substation transmission distribution and on the customer side of the meter and consulting on power system issues. Southern California Edison has had a long and proud history of innovation with solar and the growth in the industry. Every day, Edison is working together with customers to create a clean energy future. SCE expects that the amount of the energy systems, energy storage systems on the electric grid and their role in maintaining system reliability will grow rapidly in the coming years. The state's ambitious environmental goals and customers' clean energy preferences are driving the increased energy storage systems, as well as renewable resources connecting into the SCE's distribution system and transmission system in cases. SCE strongly supports the state's climate and air quality objectives, a key part of which our responsibility is to ensure the reliable operation of an increasingly more complex distribution grid. Energy storage systems properly installed by skilled contractors with the necessary expertise play a vital role in maintaining reliability. The safety of utility employees, customers, contractors, the environment, and the public at large is SCE's paramount concern. I have personally been involved in many shock and fire investigations in which unqualified and undertrained workers improperly installed electrical system and components, creating hazards to life and property. Improperly installed energy storage systems could create a serious risk of electrocution and fire. Specially trained installers who are an expert in the unique safety codes and the standards of energy storage systems mitigate that risk. Contractors with C10 licenses are properly authorized currently and trained to install these energy storage systems. SCE urges that the Contractor State License Board to make paramount safety and reliability issues that I've cited when determining contractor qualifications for combined solar and energy storage system installations. Much of this was reiterated from a letter that was sent on February 20th of 2018 from our Senior Vice President of Distribution Systems, Phil Harrington. I'd like to leave that letter here.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak this morning. My name is Lawrence Obsede. I am the Distributed Energy Resources Manager at San Diego Gas and Electric Company. On behalf of SDG&E, we also support that energy storage should be treated as standalone, and they require specific training and specialization. This is due in part to the fact that there's a diverse spectrum of technologies available today, and not just battery chemistries, but also flywheels and other technologies. There are specific fire suppression systems required for these technologies. And also we have to follow specific fire policies while installing, maintaining, and operating these systems. There could be different modes of operation and utilization, not just unique to reliability and resiliency, but also to power quality. And there's also specific sizing. Our group is responsible for assets installed throughout the service territory, anywhere from 25 kW to 30 megawatts. And this does require specific training and special attention. Thank you.
My name is Christopher Smith, and I'm an alternative energy engineer for the California Nevada statewide LMCC. And I think everyone in this room would agree that California has a reputation of setting the precedents for the rest of the country when it comes to code requirements, standards, and compliance. And I think we can further agree that to reverse climate change and save not only California, but our entire planet, that adoption of clean technologies such as photovoltaic, solar, and energy storage must be swift. However, the precedent that we set for that installation of solar and storage doesn't have safety and experience at its heart, we'd be doing the rest of the nation and ourselves an injustice because of deaths, fatalities, injuries, and failing systems and poor project economics that will dramatically slow adoption as the industry will have to deal with the fallout. So my recommendation comes from a place of pure logic, as the only realistic argument I can see against requiring C46 contractors to carry C10 licenses for battery storage is a slowing of adoption. But there are over 32,000 contractors that carry a C10 license and only 1,425 contractors that carry a C46 license. Furthermore, 449 of those 1,425 carry a C10 license, so they're dual wielding. What that says to me and what that should say to the board is that already 1/3 of the C46 contractors have acknowledged the importance of safety and experience when it comes to energy storage installations. And a requirement for C10 licenses and energy storage and installations would not only temporarily exclude 976 contractors, while over 32,000 very eligible C10 contractors can continue on with energy storage installs, while the 976 who do not have those licenses can simply go out and get them like the rest of us have done. I think we owe it to the people of California to err on the side of extreme caution and safety, because in the grand scheme of things, 976 contractors who are temporarily not able to get C10 licenses is not going to slow adoption in the grand scheme of things. And lastly, I don't understand how energy storage systems and solar aren't considered standalone. I can think of hundreds and hundreds of examples of when energy storage is needed without any generation source at all. And I'm speaking of the contracting world. But more realistically, let's think of the energy storage device that each and every single one of us has in our pocket. I don't see any solar attached to this. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ashton Turnison. I'm with Tesla. I'm the C10 license holder there. We're here basically to talk about, or I'm here to talk about the Powerwall energy storage system that we have. It's a fairly simple system as far as energy storage goes, with AC in and AC out. So that kind of limits, some of the difficulty with the installation alone. It's one of the most sought after units. And the way we do that is through the design. And the way we find our installers is through, an application to become a certified installer. We also mainly do direct install. But once you're approved through our application, there is an installer-led training, similar to what I believe LG discussed. And once you do install a system, we have quality audits through our direct team that come out and ensure the quality of those installations. So that's a major part to control quality there. And as people continue to say, these are separate systems. You will not pull a permit anywhere where there doesn't show existing PV or new PV attached to these units. So if you have a 3-line diagram or a single line diagram, every time it shows these solar and storage together. And I think that's a really important thing to understand with these systems. So if you're looking at installing PV with the new time of use changes in California, you're really kind of looking at these guys in the yellow shirt and saying, well, maybe you can't do your job because most of these jobs will include storage. And that's something important to consider. And one thing I wanted to touch on, the mission statement of Tesla is to accelerate the advent of sustainable energy. It's not all about the cars. So in that, we do not want to limit the workforce that's trained and qualified to perform this work. And with 100% renewable goals ahead of us, I think we really need to consider that. So that is all I have. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Rodriguez. I'm the PV design manager for Sunrun. We're one of the largest residential installers in the nation. I'm also the permitting chair for CALSA, and I stand in opposition to this draft for the following reasons. In a lifetime, my company has installed over 3,000 energy storage systems in the state of California. In fact, since January 1st, we've installed over 670 systems in California. And today, there's no less than 10 installs going on right now. And we're a C46 license holder. Why do I think that? And zero safety incidents, zero life safety incidences. And why do I think this happens? I've heard a lot of people say it, that energy storage isn't plug and play. But I'm here to tell you, in the residential sector, it's pretty much plug and play. The residential code has mandated that we install a system that's listed to UL 9540. So we install only systems that are listed, matched components listed to 9540. We follow the instruction manual. If my installers don't follow the instruction manual, it doesn't blow up. I don't lose people. My system doesn't work. And I have to correct the installation to make it work. Then I also have 2 fail-safes. If my install crew does it correctly, I have a jurisdiction official that comes out to inspect my system. If he misses it, I have a utility inspector that comes out to inspect it afterwards. 2 inspections, including my own quality audit, before I'm even given permission to turn the thing on. That's the reason why over 3,000 installs since the summer of 2016, 0 life safety incidents, right? The systems are getting safer and safer as we move forward. The manufacturers understand that there's a safety issue, so they have to design for that. As an installer, you have to do the same thing. If the question that I've heard mostly is that we don't have enough training to install these systems, we already have a board stood up that provides training for our installers. It's called NABCET. If we need additional training, let's send our people to NABCET. Let's make sure we have a certified person on the team, right? That's really all we need at this point. I also look back to the back of the room and I see a battery standing over there. I don't see an area marked out or taped out around it to keep people away from it. I don't see cones to prevent people from touching it. In fact, I don't see anyone concerned about the fact that you're carrying an energy storage system in your pocket, have one in your ear, or have one on your wrist, right? So this battery technology is prevalent in our entire lives, in the entire world. You're going to see more and more of it. And the only thing that's going to happen is the battery technology is going to get safer and safer as we move forward. Because it's all a concern of ours. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, panel members. My name is Gretchen Newsom, the other G. Newsom of California. And I'm speaking on behalf of the California State Association of Electrical Workers and tens of thousands of skilled and trained electricians and power professionals across the state. Collectively, we are in support of staff recommendation, item 3, and asking the board to clarify current regulations to require that only contractors holding a C10 electrical contractor's license be allowed to install battery energy storage. As the use of battery energy storage systems continues to increase, so do potential threats to public safety and worker safety. We must be steadfast in establishing installation and maintenance regulations. Ambiguity in the regulations that has allowed C46 solar contractors to install battery storage systems when paired with a solar PV system, even though battery storage systems are separate electrical systems. This is dangerous because C46 solar workers are not required by the state to have the electrical training or expertise that they should. However, the C10 licensed electrical contractors are required to install battery energy storage systems with highly trained electricians who have been certified by the state, the same workers that I represent here today. To be clear, the difference between the C46 worker and the C10 electrician is the state-required training and certification. It is this difference, not the questions on the contractor's license test, that we urge the board to focus on because people's lives and health and worker lives are at stake. These systems are being installed in places that all of us live, work, and learn. And so ensuring that the qualified contractors and the trained and certified workers are installing them be done so safely. This is critical. The electricians who install for C10 contractors undergo extensive training and testing on the National Electric Code and have thousands of hours of hands-on training that you've already heard about time and time again. Considering the dangers related to energy storage systems and the critical importance of proper and safe installation and maintenance, allowing C46 contractors to install these energy storage systems is a worker and public safety risk that should not be taken. So if everyone is really concerned about safety, then why not ensure that it is also installed by those that are trained and skilled? Question yourself that. Thank you.
Good day, board members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Matthew Vasilakis from Climate Action Campaign, a regional nonprofit dedicated to local climate action and stopping climate change. As our communities move towards full carbon neutrality, energy storage will play a key role in helping us achieve a zero-emission, clean energy future, as well as support San Diego's own local efforts to reach 100% renewable clean energy by 2035. By unlocking the potential of renewables to power homes and businesses and supporting growth of local microgrids, energy storage can help reduce harmful air pollution and climate emissions while making our communities safer and more climate resilient. It is vital that energy storage grow to its full potential, and equally important that these systems be installed safely by qualified electrical personnel with proper training, skills, and certifications. Whether residential or utility scale, battery storage systems should be installed only by licensed C10 contractors and with state-certified electricians. This is why Climate Action Campaign supports the motion for the board to take a careful, close look at this issue through the regulatory process according to staff recommendations. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Richard Miller, and I'm here representing the Sierra Club with over 500,000 members and supporters in the state of California. The Sierra Club strongly supported Senate Bill 100, which will move California toward a clean energy economy by 2045. And battery storage systems will be critical elements, along with solar and other clean energy resources, of making this a reality. To succeed, we must have qualified people install and maintain battery storage systems in a safe and most effective manner, whether they are standalone or are paired with solar. For us, that means all battery storage systems from residential to utility scale should be installed only by licensed C10 contractors with state-certified electricians. The transition to a 100% energy economy is an opportunity to build a stronger and more equitable California by bringing clean air to communities burdened by harmful pollution and providing healthy, quality jobs and careers for residents and families. We appreciate the opportunity to comment on this matter, and we support the staff recommendation to further explore and address which contractor classifications should install these technologies that are critical to advancing our clean energy goals. Thank you.
Thank you. Just briefly, by a show of hands, who still is waiting to speak briefly? Okay, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. My name is Jeremy Sullivan. I represent Sunrun, which is the largest residential solar provider in the United States, and I'm the head of training and certification for Sunrun's field employees. We have over 3,000 employees and over 200,000 customers nationwide. I'm here to say that I and my team have personally trained thousands of people in our company and other companies that we're partnered with, some of whom are in this room and on the opposing sides of the issue. Training for C46 individuals is extensive and extremely safety-based. C46 is a highly skilled profession because of the extensive experience, training, and testing on solar and storage since the beginning of solar storage. Our AHJs and utilities also inspect our quality of workmanship. I oppose the motion because of the status quo is preferred, but Sunrun will participate and collaborate with whichever option is selected. Thank you.
Thank you, board members, and for the time that you presumably donate to our state for very, very little compensation. My name is Rob Robinson. I'm the Western Regional Sales Manager for Outback Power. Outback Power is a 18-year-old battery storage system manufacturer, inverter manufacturer based out of Washington. I live in Santa Barbara. I want to say how polite this whole group is on all sides. Speakers come up and speak and their 33 minutes is up and they stop. I've been to hearings where they don't stop. They just keep going. I want to make 2 points. One is I started in solar doing battery storage systems in 1980. And so it's a long time ago, and I've been in and out of the business since then. But I want to acknowledge the fact that in the beginning of this industry, the electrical contractors, and there are exceptions, sort of poo-pooed the business, thought it was black magic or a fad. And now it's a real business. And it's the C46s that built this business. So here's to you guys that built this business. And now it's a $1 billion business in the state, and our state's leading the world really in the adoption of this technology. And so I support basically option 2 probably if you won't just do option 1, it would be option 2, and basically understand that the C-Force and their workforce is a huge body of people that are getting affected by this. Huge body of people and a lot of lives, and really deliberate that very, very carefully, understanding what it means. And, you know, there's battery storage systems that are on a resonance, and there's the stuff that Baker does beautifully at 30 megawatts. These are different, same core stuff, but different projects. So be careful and deliberate in how you go forward with this, and please give them that consideration. Thank you.
My name is Jeremy Floth. I am an electrical instructor. I am ESAM TAC certified, which I have not heard yet today. That's electrical, storage, and microgrids training and certification. Matter of fact, I had to wait to 2 guys before me to hear anything about somebody training. I hear about profits, things like that. I'm here to represent every electrical worker. I don't care what shirt they're wearing. We need the training. We need the safety. The gentleman before me said, oh, nobody's running around that battery over there. Well, why are there pylons in front of transformers? DC is no less dangerous than AC. Proper training is the key. There are some good products out there that are super safe. That's one of them. But do we always buy high? No, we go for the lowest bid, right? It's UL listed. It's UL listed. How many people have had a washing machine fell on them? It's UL listed. Refrigerator, UL listed. I've had a breaker grenade on me, brand new, out of the package. That was UL listed. But because I had the proper OSHA training, I had the proper protective equipment, which I haven't heard yet. All I hear is safe product, but not what we're doing to protect the employees. What good's your paycheck if they're dead? Okay, we don't put a seatbelt on because we know we're going to crash. It's the potential of us crashing. That's how we rate electrical accidents, the potential of what can happen. Everybody remember those e-cigarette batteries that were popping in people's pockets? That's 1.5 volts. A 240 volt system, that's 160 of those going off at once. Is it going to happen every time? No, but it could. Do you want it to be at your house or in one of these gentlemen's faces? Because holy Jesus, we have batteries that we have to connect with terminals now because nobody wanted to spend the $10,000+ for the top of the line stuff. I want to protect the people. I don't care what shirt they wear. I understand there's good products, but we can't all afford the good products. Safety and training. Safety and training. Get them educated, we're all safe. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for your time today. My name is Paul Daly. I am the Director of Product Management for Outback Power, which, as Rob indicated, is a provider of energy storage systems. You know, it is this board's prerogative to adjust the license requirements however you see fit. I would just like you to consider 2 points among all of the others that have been presented as you do that. One is that, you know, I'm developing new products in this space. Those products, albeit for residential primarily, are continually going more and more toward all-in-one systems that really should be installed with the PV. And that's something that is based not just technically, but also in terms of the tax code, sales processes, business processes, and even safety processes as these systems are put in. The other consideration is that, you know, limiting the C46 from installing products like this effectively disenfranchises the majority of installers today, and for no reason. We see no reason as a manufacturer that you have to have a C10 to do this. We train a lot of people in our 4-day long manufacturer training course, and the kind of training you get outside of the typical license training is more specific and useful to these kind of products anyway. So it's really about someone who has the discipline to get a license, be it a C46 or a C10 or what have you. They will typically also get the additional training that specialize to the products. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Yellow shirt, so obviously I oppose changing it. My name is Mike Kozlowski. I'm a regional manager for UMA Solar. UMA is a distributor that offers a full range of solar solutions to our dealers and contractors, from simple residentials to large-scale commercial projects. We don't get involved with the high-end utility projects. That's above a lot of people's grade at what they can install. For more than 40 years, our company's been working with high-quality products, full technical assistance to our dealer network, and especially here in California. Often included with this support is manufacturer-specific technical training. I actually canceled one of these training tours to be here today. From installations to best practices and even troubleshooting, we do our best to equip our contractors, our partners, our dealers with the skills needed to service their clients with the utmost quality and safety one should expect. Our opinion is that energy systems are a complete solution, not independent of solar energy systems, grid power, or even federal tax credits. By restricting energy storage systems to only C10 installers, we're going to find out that there aren't going to be enough installers to go around, and not that there's not enough employees, enough folks to do it, but I don't know of a single electrician that's not booked out too far. I don't know any electrical contractor who's not overly busy. So we're going to create this bottleneck. While there are many C10 contractors more than confident and proficient, and we've heard a lot of them today, with installing energy and storage systems, there are even equally, if not more qualified C46 contractors that are more than capable to do these same solutions. And I'm pretty sure some of those are in this room right now. For those who are in favor of this license change for safety concerns, UMA is just as concerned. And, we hear from different contractors that bumped into electricians who didn't know about batteries or didn't know about what's going on. And it was our 46s that have helped out. So by limiting ESS installations to only C10s, what does the future hold for the increase in costs that will directly associated with this proposal? Or better yet, who will be on the hook for the added expense? My guess is probably going to be the property owners. If this proposal is passed, not only will it affect the livelihood of the C46s installing battery-based solutions, but also the folks at UMA Solar. It's going to affect our business too, because we primarily sell to the C46s, contractors, over the C10s. So today I'm not only here to provide this statement on behalf of UMA Solar, but also for the rest of the solar distributors across the great state of California. Thank you for this consideration in the statement, and I request that you reject restricting the solar energy storage system installations.
Thank you. We're going to be breaking for lunch and returning in 1 hour. So if you would like to make note of your place in line, that's up to you. We'll be back to resume at 1 p.m.
You're that, yeah.